Hello, fellow aspirants. This is me, Dr. Jagdish Jagtap, and in today's podcast, we'll be learning about land reforms in India, and in that, land sealing and Bhoodan movement. Let us understand land sealings. Suppose this is a person A, and he owns 1 acre of land, and the government puts a land ceiling on 1 acre. That is 1 acre. So, if he happens to own any more land, suppose 1 more acre here or 1 more acre here, so this all will be confiscated and given to someone else. So here the land ceiling is 1 acre in this case. So the objective of this land ceiling was to making land distribution more equitable by imposing ceilings on size of land holdings, so that everyone will have a fairly equitable share of land. So we can see this is this zamindar, this is the government, and the government is taking the land from this fellow and giving it to the poor fellow. So, but there were few limitations of this land ceilings. First and foremost was the delay in legislation. The time period taken for introduction of this bill and final passage was around 5 to 6 years. So that's a long span of time. Then we have seen opposition by bullock capitalists. Now, who are these bullock capitalists? These were landowners who had accumulated a lot of political power, and using that they somehow impeded the passing of this legislation. Then we have these high ceiling limits. These bills or these acts kept the ceiling limit very high, and India was a country where the land holding was very low, so even the large landowners did not have that much land which was above the ceiling limits. So the benefit of these acts was really low. Then there were some exemptions given from ceiling in certain areas for efficient farmers. Now, who were these efficient farmers? Those farmers who used advanced machinery, they were called as efficient farmers. So most of the large landowners started employing advanced machinery so that they could be clubbed into this team and be exempt from the ceiling acts. Then individuals were at the unit of ownership and not the family. Suppose person A here had 10 acres of land and the limit was 2 acres, and he had his wife, daughter and 2 children, and if he distributed this 10 acres, 2 acres each, then he could be saved from this land ceiling. So this kind of defeated the whole purpose of the scheme. So here we see it led to distribution of land amongst family members to avoid ceiling limits. But despite all these limitations, there were a few achievements also. That is, it prevented a rush to buy land. Now, since a person could only own a certain amount of land, he couldn't buy more than that. So that is how a land market kind of thing was not created. Secondly, it safeguarded small landowners, because since there was upper limit, the bigger landowners couldn't keep on accumulating land from them. And this efficient farmer thing also helped, because some landowners began efficient use of land and use of advanced machinery. So this was really helpful in implementing the Green Revolution. We'll learn about that in later podcasts. Now, one movement emerged in India which was really revolutionary. That is the Bhoodan Movement. It was started by Acharya Vinoba Bhave. Here we can see him. And he was the spiritual heir of Mahatma Gandhi. He started an organization called as the Sarvodaya Samaj, and that Samaj spearheaded his movement of Bhoodan. His aim was to accumulate 1/6 of total land of India, that is agricultural land of India, and redistribute it to the people who did not have land. So his target was 50 million acres. But he achieved only 4.5 million acres. Now it looks like even less than 1/10 of this, but if we look at it quantitatively, It is a phenomenal achievement. The first Bhudan was movement like event took place in Pochampalli in Telangana, where the first piece of land was donated. Now, even this movement had some limitations. First and foremost was that the wildly landowners donated only uncultivable and under litigation land. Now, this is some really good craftiness on their part. Then we have problems in redistribution. Because these accumulated land, there were no clear laws, even the land titles were faulty. So there were emerged lot of problems in redistributing this land. Despite this, there were some good achievements. That is, it was a movement of the people and not government initiated. So it was purely voluntary. Hats off to this person. And it prevented class conflict. Now, since he could achieve such a lot of redistribution of land, the areas in which he did this, their class conflict was avoided. Otherwise, the poor peasants could have taken weapons against the zamindars. And it was based on Gandhiji's concept of Sarvodaya and trusteeship. Similar to the Bhudan, we have a Gramdan movement. It was again started by Sri Vinoba Bhave. And here, all land of the village was collectively or equally owned. But like it started in 1961 in Orissa, and it was successful only in areas where class differentiation was minimal or in tribal societies, which are usually egalitarian. And it was again based on Gandhiji's principle of trusteeship and his thought that all land belonged to God. Thank you. Have an awesome day.